She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that.
I know.
Yeah.
This is all fake.
And she also is pretending like she's crying. We zoomed in just to see. There isn't a tear in sight. Look at this.
Why does this woman have a podcast? Why does she have a show? Why?
She was a real hard-nosed LA girl. Yeah. Now she's like this, oh, I'm soft, I'm mommy, I'm this.
Your voice is driving me crazy and I'm about to jump over there and put my fists down your throat.
It's all bullshit.
She is a malignant narcissist who cannot get enough of herself.
And there was nothing in this sit-down interview that she did with her friend that had anything of substance, and yet she was crying, she was talking about full-body chills the entire time.
How proud I am of you, and of all things, it's making me emotional.
I have full body chills right now.
But she never stops whining.
When Piers Morgan decided to speak his mind on Meghan Markle, he didn't just throw a little shade. He dropped an absolute bombshell. His unfiltered take that the carefully cultivated persona Meghan shows the world is, in his blunt words, all BS.
It's all bullshit.
This wasn't just some random, off-the-cuff remark. Oh no. Piers was making a serious claim, suggesting a massive, calculated transformation he insists he witnessed with his own eyes.
Maybe part of worthiness comes when you stop having to feel like you're in the prove-it game.
Hallelujah. I am getting emotional right now.
It's the kind of explosive statement designed to completely shatter the image of the softly spoken, empathetic Duchess we've often seen. Piers isn't just hinting at a few inconsistencies. He's essentially saying the whole thing is an act. His supposed insider perspective serves as our entry point today, a lens through which we'll examine a series of moments and public perceptions that have led many to question, who is the real Meghan Markle?
I know that I'm a great friend, and I know the kind of mom I am, and I know the kind of human being I am, and I know how I show up.
Before the royal titles and global spotlight, Piers Morgan claims he knew a very different Meghan. He paints a picture of a real hard-nosed LA girl, someone fiercely ambitious and decisively on the fast track.
She was a real hard-nosed LA girl who was on the fast track. Yeah. Now she's like this, oh, I'm soft, I'm mommy, I'm this.
This was no shrinking violet. This was, according to his account, a woman with drive, who understood the Hollywood game and was playing it to win. This before image is crucial because it stands in such stark contrast to the persona that would later emerge. The Meghan he describes was allegedly all business, focused, and perhaps a little sharp-edged, a far cry from the softer, more vulnerable figure many would later see. This initial description from Piers sets the stage for his core argument, that a fundamental, deliberate change occurred, a change so profound he labels it a complete fabrication.
Everything they do seems so manipulative, calculated, PR motivated, money motivated.
This contrast is the bedrock of the skepticism that would follow her. The transformation wasn't just about her career path. Piers got specific, zeroing in on her very demeanor. She didn't speak like that, he insisted. Her mannerisms weren't like that. He described her current, often softer, more emotive way of speaking and acting, the oh I'm soft, I'm mommy caricature he drew, as entirely new and entirely put on.
She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
This alleged shift from a more direct, perhaps even brash, LA style to a more considered, often tearful presentation is what Piers points to as undeniable proof of an act.
How proud I am of you, and of all things, it's making me emotional. They're just it's just so great.
It's a bold claim, suggesting that the very way she communicates her emotions and thoughts to the world is part of a performance. This idea that the shift was so total and so different from the person he thought he knew became a recurring theme for critics who felt her public appearances lacked genuine spontaneity.
I had to stop and ask myself, is this genuine? Is this some grassroots organic scandal? Or is this being planted?
The questions about authenticity weren't just fueled by commentators like Piers. They were often sparked by Meghan's own ventures. Take her podcast, for example. Launched with much fanfare, it was intended to give her a platform to speak her truth. Yet it quickly drew criticism. Some listeners and reviewers felt it was less a candid conversation and more a carefully curated branding exercise, with every anecdote seemingly circling back to her own narrative of victimhood or triumph.
I have been on this grind and auditioning for 10 years and hearing no after no after no after no after no.
It's me, me, me.
One memorable episode featured her friend, billionaire Jamie Kern-Lima. While Meghan appeared, supposedly makeup-free and raw, viewers online were quick to point out the professionally styled hair and flattering lighting, with one common comment being, if this is no makeup, what's her red carpet look?
So first of all, she had the hair blown out. It was perfect. I do not believe that she was makeup-free there. She didn't have eye makeup on, which is a different thing.
The interaction itself, with her friend showering her with praise like, you're so beautiful, felt less like an interview and more like a carefully managed PR moment.
You look the exact same with no makeup as makeup, and you still love me even when we get together. If I haven't showered, it's still all the same.
It's these kinds of instances where the authentic label felt forced that provided ammunition for those who agreed with Piers Morgan's harsher assessments.
It is so fake and contrived and inauthentic.
It's just so inauthentic. Why would I watch it?
It wasn't just on camera where Meghan's choices raised eyebrows. Midway through one podcast episode, a photo reportedly flashed up showing a gift basket with a card signed HRH, the Duchess of Sussex.
A basket that she had sent to the host of the podcast as a thank you for allowing her to come on. And here you can kind of zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex.
This detail might seem minor, but it exploded online. Critics pounced, pointing out that Meghan had supposedly stepped back from royal duties and the active use of her HRH title. To them, using it on a personal gift felt like a deliberate move to retain the prestige and status of royalty, while simultaneously complaining about the burdens of it.
She was caught red-handed using Her Royal Highness. That is a title that was stripped from her when she and Harry made their whole racism debacle and left the UK, left their royal duties, and moved to the US. This is something that she is not allowed to use.
This wasn't about nostalgia, they argued. It was about branding. She's not Meghan the person. She's Meghan the product. One common sentiment went. This incident fed directly into the narrative that, even in her supposedly private moments, there was a calculation at play, a desire to have it both ways. Such actions seemed to validate the skepticism voiced by people like Piers, who saw a strategic operator rather than someone simply trying to live a normal life. Meghan often spoke of her hectic life, detailing early morning school drop-offs and a packed schedule of meetings.
I try to do school drop-off. So that's our big circuit. So from 6:30 in the morning on drop-off mornings for me, I'm not home till 9. And then after that, I'll just jump into meetings.
But instead of garnering sympathy, these descriptions sometimes backfired. Coming from someone living in a multi-million-dollar mansion with presumably significant help, these claims of struggle often led to comments describing it as privilege dressed in yoga pants. It highlighted a perceived disconnect, making her attempts at relatability feel hollow to certain audiences. Then there was the infamous tear. During one particularly emotional interview, a single, perfectly formed tear rolled down Meghan's cheek. It was a powerful moment, visually. However, skeptics immediately unearthed old promotional clips from her Suits days where she talked about being able to cry on command, even snapping her fingers and saying, "Left eye go." Have a look at this.
Now make yourself cry. Yeah. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Meghan, one tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
Seeing this old clip and then seeing the new tear was enough for many viewers to question the authenticity of the emotion. Even her tears are union-backed, one viral comment dryly noted, further cementing the idea of a performance. The much-anticipated Netflix docuseries was meant to be their chance to tell their story, their way. But even this carefully controlled project hit turbulence. Viewers and critics alike pointed to scenes that felt overly produced, more like a high-gloss reality show than a raw documentary. Meghan's analogies, like comparing her life to the end of Super Mario Bros. Where Harry was slaying the dragon to save the princess, were met with ridicule by some who questioned who exactly she was being rescued from. Adding to the drama, Prince Harry made several explosive claims in interviews around the same time, particularly regarding his family and the security of his wife and children. In one BBC interview, he heavily implied King Charles was to blame if anything happened to them due to a lack of security. This, while his father was reportedly battling serious health issues, struck many as deeply insensitive and like emotional blackmail. For critics, these instances, combined with Meghan's narrative, looked less like a couple seeking peace and more like a coordinated PR campaign that was increasingly out of touch, reinforcing the more cynical views championed by commentators like Piers Morgan, who saw it all as a relentless drive for a specific, self-serving narrative. So, after all these controversies, all these questionable moments, and the direct accusations that people like Piers Morgan have loudly repeated and made even bigger, there's a long, dark cloud hanging over Meghan Markle's public image. His incredibly simple but brutal opinion that it's all BS still hits home with a lot of people. You may ask why? Because it connects with a general feeling of doubt, that feeling many have that what they're seeing from Meghan isn't completely real. Think about it. From her podcast that seemed more like ads for herself than her sharing real feelings, to branding choices that didn't match up with what she said about wanting privacy and a normal life, to those times she tried to be relatable, but it just didn't work. All this just gave more reasons for people who doubted her to keep doubting. Every little thing, whether it was a suspicious tear or a controversial statement from Harry, has just added to the story that this is all a big, carefully planned act. This whole situation is a clear warning about how tricky it is for celebrities to create their public image and how easily it can all fall apart. So, With Piers Morgan's harsh words still ringing in everyone's ears, and with people closely examining every new photo and thing she says, the main question is still out there. Can someone famous really get people to trust them again when so many believe that everything about how they present themselves is just a well-planned fake show? Or has all this constant criticism and close watch, pushed along by outspoken critics, changed how people see Meghan Markle for good? What are your theories? Drop them in the comments below.